Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Friday midday market report. Firstly, overnight in the US, and stocks fell from record highs amid a torrent of corporate results. Investors were worried that the Federal Reserve will not be as dovish as expected in its monetary policy announcement next week, following some strong economic data. So even though durable goods orders rose 2% in April, the S&P 500 pulled back 0.5% to close at 3,003. The tech-heavy Nasdaq slid 1% to close at 8,238. In individual stocks, Facebook shares fell 1.9% and Ford shares slid 7.5% after its earnings fell short of estimates, and its 2019 guidance disappointed investors. Boeing shares were battered again after reporting in the previous session a massive quarterly loss, and its shares dropped another 3.7%. Tesla plunged 13.6% after the electronic car maker reported a bigger than expected loss for the previous quarter. In Europe, the ECB President Mario Draghi said that there wasn't a significant risk of recession in the region. Draghi's comments came after the ECB left rates unchanged but opened the door for some rate cuts later in the year in its policy announcement. Moving to Australia, and the Australian share market moved higher yesterday, and long-standing records aren't just being broken at the Swimming World Championships. The Broad All Ordinaries finished up 39.5 points, or 0.58% to 6,901, beating its all-time intraday high of 6,873, set way back on November 1 of 2007. Today though, the Australian market, it's taken a little bit of a breather after 3 days of gains, and that was following the negative lead in the US. The S&P ASX 200, that slid 0.2% to 6,803, and technology stocks led the decline after those big US technology names I mentioned tumbled on disappointing earnings. Appen down on our market 3.5%. Financials were also down, and all the major banks were lower, between 0.3 and 0.8%. And lastly, the Aussie dollar, that was flat at 69.49 US cents. So enjoy the rest of Friday and have a great weekend.